Good morning, Jessica. It is I, your teacher, Rich. I'm going to go ahead and look over your number 9. This is the three-way ANOVA for the Frito-Lay. Congratulations on your paid internship. Okay, hold on. I'm now ready to look over your paper. Okay, here we go. Frito-Lay. Yummy, yummy. Okay, right? It's less than half a billion. They're used to $1 billion per sales. Poor guys. Okay, so that tells me right off the bat that it did not achieve their their desired sales. Okay, so the null hypothesis for the shelf. Eh, this I think I know what you mean here. I'm gonna add a little what we call a call out and show you what this should have looked at like for the null hypothesis, for the shelf placement, and for the store type. This one is perfect, right? The packaging. You could have just said there's going to be no significant difference in the packaging when it comes to sales. Same thing for the shelf placement, same thing for the store type, right? That the store type didn't matter or the shelf placement didn't matter. That's what the null does for us. Okay. Yes, the data was normal enough and it did not violate the test of homogeneity of variance. And these look like the right things to me. I'm going to double check them here in a second. Okay. There was interaction. It was between which shelf and which store type. And that is practically the exact same comment that I did. Oh, you're good. You were very good. Okay, so where's the differences? Right. Anything with the shelf and the type of store, good. The effect size was huge, correct. Power is practically perfect. And yes, this was a very good test because everything was strong. Okay. And number 15, right. Now remember, any researcher has a chance of making what we call a type 1 error. It's not because they made a mathematical error. It just means that their sample size was weird enough to get a significant F when in fact you shouldn't have. Okay, that's what we call by chance. Okay, so let me check your data. Okay, right. No bottom shelves, right? That's poison. And right, the warehouse stores seem to sell a lot more. So right, this is perfect again. You are just on fire. Okay, you wrote a three-way blah, 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 blah. Significant difference. Let's see. Yep. Alpha 0.05. 13. Oh, right. That's what I got too. You wrote them up perfectly. You got the same conclusions that I did. So far, so good. Okay, so here's your SPSS turnout. Don't need this one. I really don't need this box. This simply says that it's what the computer is running, and I don't need to see that. So don't send this box anymore. You could send this one. It tells us how many are in it, and if anybody's missing. And in real life, you're going to have missing data. Okay, and we're going to figure out what to do with that probably next semester if I'm the teacher. Okay, so descriptives. So this is of your DV. The average is about 21.5. Standard error about 1.4. And okay, skewedness. It's going to be a little bit skewed. It's going to be more kurtotic than skewed. Okay, what that means is it's going to have too many spikes that aren't in the center, kind of like Bart Simpson's hair. What the heck is this? M estimators. Never seen it before. Don't know what it means. So one mild suggestion is if you're going to send any SPSS boxes, tables, charts, graphs, whatever it is, if you're going to send that to any other teacher, unless you can explain what you're putting it in there for, do not put it in. SPS will do 1,500 different tests all by itself without you telling it to. And half of these things don't really apply to what we're going to be learning here. But here's your Smirnoff test of normality. Good. It is not violating anything. And yes, this is kurtotic. A little bit skewed, a little bit kurtotic, right? That means kurtotic means it has spikes that aren't in the center. And that kind of agrees with the histogram. Don't need to see this plot. What this is telling us, it tells us how many standard deviations each point is away from the mean. Okay? So if you'll notice the y-axis, it's 0.2 up here, negative 0.04 on the bottom, and it's not going to be considered an outlier unless it's greater than or less than 2 standard deviations away, not these .2 stuff. So really don't need to see that box. Box plot, boom, right? It tells it's a little bit skewed, no outliers, so this is perfect. And again, don't need this box. This box is good, right? Tells us how many are in each shelf location and how many are in each store. This shelf is good. These are the numbers you have to quote in your APA formatting, right? Mean, standard deviations, blah, 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 blah. And here's your homogeneity variance test again after you ran it into broke it up into groups. And again, it did not violate anything. So here's your ANOVA source table. This is your money box. And you correctly did them all. Perfect. And here's your eta squared, right? Your effect size. Look at that, 98%. That's pretty darn strong. Power is perfect. Okay, good. Really don't need estimated marginal means. Post hoc is good. This is where you find out between which shelf is the bigger producer, okay? Looks like anything but the bottom shelf, right? Bottom shelf, nobody sees it. And don't need the homogeneous subsets of the Tukey test. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what they are. Okay, store top. Again, boom. It tells you the difference between which store type. Okay. So the convenience in the supermarkets. And there should be another one up here. Let's keep going. There's packaging. Right? There was no difference between the stores by themselves. Right? There was no main effect of the store types. But there was a packaging. Right? Okay, don't need the subsets. But this was really good, except for some of these tables I really didn't need to see. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you 100% on this. I'm very impressed. You're getting all the big things, which is very important. And believe it or not, you are learning this well enough, you might be able to teach it one of these days. So keep that in the back of your mind. But that's it for now. Stay tuned for this week's lesson. Homework assignment. MGZ out.